Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Rated E for everyone. Includes in-game purchases. Includes random items. EA Sports FC 26 is here. Play your way this holiday season with an overhauled gameplay experience powered by community feedback. Enjoy festive upgrades in Ultimate Team with Winter Wildcards. Take on holiday-themed challenges and manage your career, like navigating the busy Christmas period. And team up with friends and clubs with new tournaments and live events. The club is yours. Give the gift of football with EA Sports FC 26.
Sunday morning. The year is over. Thursday is New Year's Day. Well, Dr. Peter Michalos, another year is gone. We want to live to 100. Give us some advice.
Well, a very important topic is staying healthy in winter, and that includes car safety and our health safety. And one of the biggest things is that when it's cold outside, we want to stay warm and dress warm, but everybody's different. We all have different layers of protection underneath our skin that can keep us warm, and some people, don't necessarily need a coat. But the way we get sick when we go outside is the dry, cold air dries out our mucous membranes and our sinuses, and that's why viruses and bacteria can more readily enter. The same reason why, in addition to super cold and dry weather, we get sick more. That's why we run humidifiers, especially for children. Having a hygrometer that tells you percent humidity, keeping the humidity at least 40% in the room, you tend to get sick less, and that's why long airplane rides, people also with the dry, desiccated air, because they don't want humidity in planes, because humidity causes rust causes metal fatigue and structural failure. That's why the carbon fiber lanes like the Dreamliner, people actually get less sick, and that's been documented. So of course, your limbs also, where we lose the further away from the heart, the colder it gets. That's why our head, I don't have any hair on top of my head. That's why sometimes I just wear a hat and I feel just fine. But gloves are very important, especially in little kids. Avoid frostbite. Warm socks that are made out of wool or cotton are very important. And the idea is not to get wet, because when our body is wet and our skin is wet, that water evaporates and that cools us down even more. And it's important to avoid things like alcohol and caffeine that dehydrate you before you go out and try to shovel any snow, because that can be dangerous, especially as we get older or have any heart disease, because it raises our blood pressure, which puts stress on the heart. And protecting ourselves against things like pneumonia. If you're over 65, having a pneumonia vaccine is a very good idea. And then we move on to things like I just talked about, car safety. When you buy tires, nobody ever looks at the label. You have to look for the sign A for A traction and A temperature. That's the rating. You want good traction and you want an all-weather tire. And preferably, if you can buy a tire that has Kevlar lining, which is the same stuff they use in bulletproof vests, your tire is more resistant to puncturing. Also, keep your tire pressures even, because when you slam on your brakes, if your tire pressure isn't even, your car could slide or spin one way or the other. The same reason we rotate tires, because if they're a different tread or uneven tread and you slam the brakes, you can go and lose control. The same reason why you're not supposed to really use cruise control on the highway when it's snowing, icy, or rain, because you can sometimes lose control. Check your windshield wipers, because you got to see clearly when you drive. Having fresh wipers, a quick way to clean your wipers is just take some alcohol with a paper towel and clean them off, and it gets rid of the grime. Having a first aid kit in your car can be very, very helpful. And also, I keep a small fire extinguisher in my back seat, because a small fire sometimes can be a problem. Keeping your gas tank at least half full all the time helps to balance the weight in the car. And the reason I never fill more than 3/4 on the highway, because if you get into an accident and the gas tank is violated anyway, you're less likely to spill out gas. So having a full tank of gas sometimes on the highway is not necessarily the best thing, but having it just slightly below being full. Also, people I see getting into their car in snow after a snowstorm, and they start the car, but you're supposed to check your tailpipe, because if it's clogged with snow, guess what? The carbon monoxide backs into your car, and that can also kill you. Also, the annual inspection of your brakes, very important, because you put your family in your car, your children, your grandchildren. You want to be safe. Keep your radiator with antifreeze and also non-freeze liquid for your washer fluids. And we've talked about a lot on WABC about the importance of protecting our lungs from the particles, the microplastics. That's why changing your car cabin filter is something twice a year, and you have to ask for it because it won't be normally done. And for house safety, check your carbon monoxide detectors, especially if you have fireplace in the car, your smoke and fire detectors, that they're all working. And we have to protect from heart disease because the number one day of heart attacks in the whole United States happens to be Christmas Day, followed by the next day, December 26th, and New Year's Day. And that's because we tend to overeat, overindulgence, a lot of stress because we meet up sometimes with relatives we rather not. And we sometimes find ourselves in situations where we don't have access to medical care because doctors, hospitals are on vacation, emergency rooms are backed up. So that's very important to stay hydrated, don't overeat, avoid very excess fatty foods. And also people travel to relatives' houses, they forget to take their medications with them, and getting replacements is not always so easy. So these are just some of the health tips to keep us alive, our car safety, our home safety, avoiding slip and falls. One of the biggest causes of death is breaking your hip as we get older. So I buy little grippers that you can wrap over your shoes that have little spikes that actually prevent you from falling and slipping. And, a lot of these suggestions, you just keep trying to stay on top of things so you can live long and prosper. And a lot of it is just maintenance. 20% of our destiny is our genes. 80% is how we take care of them. So keep listening to WABC for more health tips on how to live long and prosper.
Well, Dr. Michalos, and the other discussion we had, you have to really, really dress warm when it's cold outside. Otherwise, you get sick, right?
Yeah, absolutely, because especially when you get wet, because the water, when it evaporates, it cools you down even more. And sometimes wearing a glove, and the one time I do like masks is, believe it or not, when you're wearing a mask, you don't lose as much humidity out of your sinuses and in your face, and that actually sometimes can keep you even warmer than a coat, because breathing in that freezing air fills up your lungs and your chest with the cold air. So sometimes a good a scarf around your face is sometimes better than a coat or a jacket.
Well, Dr. Peter Michalos, Happy New Year. May New Year be healthy for all of us and all our listeners. And thank you for keeping our listeners alive, because if the longer they live, the more they listen to WABC. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John, for always getting the truth out on the Cats Roundtable. And please, everyone, for the New Year's resolution, schedule your annual physical exam and blood work.
God bless.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.